Man, that was quick.
Daniel calls.
Huh?
Nice.
Daniel Negreanu is more than just a poker superstar. He's also a master of mind games, table banter, and psychological warfare. However, calling the clock on Negreanu is something you should never do at the poker table. From outrageous hero calls to mind-bending bluffs, Negreanu thrives under pressure. And in this video, we'll break down some of the memorable incidents to show why it's never a good idea.
Yes.
I don't want to win anymore.
Oh.
I don't want it.
What's the
I
call?
don't want the pot anymore, Bugs.
To call the clock on him and a few others.
Call the clock.
Bring your tricycle.
These kids are coming here, taking me on.
Tony, calm down, please.
Chris Oliver calls the clock on Daniel Negreanu. During the PokerStars Caribbean Adventure PCA main event, Chris Oliver called the clock on Daniel Negreanu after approximately 40 seconds of deliberation. Negreanu, holding pocket kings, expressed frustration at the premature clock call, but also maintained his composure. Despite the added pressure, he made the correct call, demonstrating his resilience under stress. Calling the clock too soon? Definitely a bad idea.
That's a good bet. I don't know what I'm gonna do though.
I think this is a good bet, but we all know Daniel calls more often than a telemarketer.
Man, that was quick. I don't even think I took 45 seconds. I'd like to actually ask the floor if that's legal. Because part of it has to be an unreasonable amount of time.
Go on 51.
Well, it's fine. Don't worry. I'm gonna be done in a minute anyway.
That was weak sauce, bro.
Daniel calls.
Huh?
Nice.
Parker Talbot calls the clock on himself. At the 2023 PokerStars EPT Barcelona, Parker Talbot did something that's not too common. He called the clock on himself. He was deliberating over a difficult choice when he abruptly decided that enough was enough. Rather than waiting for an opponent to lose patience, he applied pressure on himself, compelling him to make a snap decision. Now, the dealer was caught off guard when the table burst into laughter. And this infrequent occurrence shows that the rules are the same for everyone.
Okay, time.
Ling Ling calls the clock on herself. At a high-stakes poker table, sweat beaded, hands trembled, and as the final seconds ticked away, the pressure became unbearable. Ling Ling found herself completely torn between calling and folding. She went back and forth, visibly agonizing over her decision while Dylan, he waited patiently. After minutes of deliberation, she finally suggested calling the clock over herself. As the countdown began, she hesitated until the very last second, only to eventually fold. He realized this was the wrong move.
Moments in this tank, it's looked like she's about to call, and then she's about to fold, and you can see it. What will Ling Ling ultimately do? One of the longer tanks we've ever seen here on Hustle Casino Live, and it's, I think the tank has been as interesting as the hand. To glance over at Dylan, see if she can get some sort of a read, something from the actor. It has looked like she was going to fold many times. Now it looks like the call is inevitable. Dylan knows he's behind, but he also probably knows he's not in terrible shape here.
Okay, call clock.
Yeah, Ling Ling's just like, call a clock on me already. Yeah, they're going to call it. She's going to call a clock on herself. And we'll count her down. Wow. All that, and eventually does find the fold.
Tony G calls the clock on Andrew Roble. With $27,000 in the pot, Tony G fires a $50,000 overbet, instantly putting pressure on Roble. Now, as Roble started thinking, Tony called the clock after just 10 seconds, unleashing his signature banter. Now, he started taunting him with classic theatrics, demanding a tricycle and mocking slow play. Now, this is all mind games that push Roble into making a huge mistake. The countdown began, and as it was about to end, Roble didn't bite. He folded under pressure, avoiding what could have been a costly call in this intense showdown.
50,000.
Tony's playing mind games to make it look like he's trying to buy it, and he's even making it personal.
Oh, I want to call the clock. I want to call the clock. You come to my game, and you're wasting my time.
On the internet, people don't bet 3 times a pot every.
Call the clock.
Bring your tricycle.
These kids are coming here, taking me on.
Tony, calm down, please. You're on the clock. You've got 1 minute, and then we're going to do a 10-second countdown, all right?
Floorman Tom Keene putting Andrew Roble on the clock.
This is all part of Tony's mind games to try to get Andrew steamed enough to call.
At 10 seconds, your hand will be dead. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1.
Fold.
Good fold. Made the hero lay down.
Floor calls the clock on Phil Hellmuth. Phil Hellmuth faces Harlow's set of 8s while holding a nut flush draw. His 5K semi-bluff is met with a $50,000 all-in from Harlow. But of course, Tony G, ever the instigator, taunts Hellmuth, who agonizes over the call. They both have a heated conversation, and as frustration mounts, Hellmuth calls the floor to shut him up. But the ruling backfires, and he's put on the clock. Tony celebrates, and he folds under pressure.
Fantastic read by Tony G. Heard the production was going to bill Phil for this overtime, by the way.
Buddy, what do you have?
Call or fold, I really think Phil probably should have made his decision by now.
You're a professional player playing against a loose cannon. I mean,
Now I'm trying to make a decision for 43,000. Can you just shut the up? Right in the middle of making a big decision right now, and he's completely out of line here.
against an amateur player coming in here as the best player in the world, taking 15 minutes to make a decision.
I haven't taken 15 minutes. You want to bet on that?
We're going to put you on the clock right now. You got a minute and 10 seconds.
That's your ruling?
Right.
See if Phil is really willing to pull the trigger. Well, he's a father of 3. Russ is used to tuning out obnoxious noise. Antonio doing the 7th inning stretch.
Check the flop and then move in on the turn.
Phil folds. And those are tears of joy.
Ludacris calls the clock on himself. Ludacris faces a brutal poker dilemma, agonizing over the King 3 hand. Tortured by his indecision, he calls the clock on himself, trying to escape the mental torment. Now as tensions peak, he folds in frustration, walking away mid-hand. But there was a surprise. The table erupts as Mike flips his cards, revealing a monster hand. Stunned, everyone praises Luda's incredible laydown. This is marked as one of the most entertaining moments in poker history.
There you go.
King 8-5.
Beat the King 3. King Trey. That's what he's got. 3 of hearts. It's available.
King 8, deuce Padoogie, Mike. God, I can't imagine ever folding this when I'm buried.
Yes.
I don't even want to win anymore.
Oh.
I don't want it.
What's the call?
I don't want the pot anymore, Bugs. Yeah, you just take it. I don't want it.
Let's play it next time. You'll win it next time.
I call clock on myself. Let's go. I'm in torture. I'm in torture. I'm
You
gonna start
beat
calling the
King
clock
3 of hearts.
prove myself.
Louis, we got a clock. He called it on a...
I'm gonna go eat. I can't take this. Don't even show it, Mike. I don't want to see it. Go eat.
Nick just looked.
Nick Airball calls the clock on Hassan One, aka Huss. The game was intense, and the players were making quick decisions. Until Hush took too long on a $25,000 call. Nick Airball did not waste time. Airball called the clock just 20 seconds after Huss was faced with a river bet, forcing him to make a quick decision. Huss had 30 seconds, and the countdown began. There was actual tension, and after hesitating, Huss folded. Time is money in high-stakes poker, and Airball wasn't letting anyone waste it.
One of the things that's going to be different from the first 2 nights with this lineup is we're not going to see as many multi-way pots. A pair, but Nick Airball here with the best of it with the ace. Not the best. Airball going to bet 25 here. Huss, the pre-flop 3-better, checked back the king. Deuce of diamonds, front door comes in. Airball's kicker does not play, but he's still going to bet when you get a price.
Clock, for real. He doesn't get to take this long for 25K. He doesn't. Stanley, you can take this long. He doesn't. Clock. All right, I'm doing it manually. You have 30 seconds to act starting now.
I see Joey Ingram in the live chat. By the way, so Tony G, Rob Young, and hands.
He's a cunt. He deserves it.
Hands.
I am a cunt. Verified.
Francisco Fragoso calls the clock on Ludacris. With the pot swelling to $84,000, Ludacris finds himself deep in thought after Francisco shoved all in on the river. Minutes pass as the tension builds, and just when the table starts to buzz with impatience, Francisco makes a bold move. That's right, he calls the clock. Now the pressure is on, and with the clock ticking, Ludacris is forced to decide. Finally, he makes the call, only to watch Francisco scoop up the massive pot, leaving everyone stunned.
How did he even get here? I don't even understand. He saw I was down 50. He just fucking flew in from the roof. How do you get past security? I don't understand.
Okay, put the clock. All right. a new wrinkle.
Francisco calls clock.
This is the Francisco we didn't know.
11,000 plus 22,000.
Here comes Luis.
14,000. 6,000.
That's nothing for you, Chris.
36,000.
20,000 is nothing for you.
It's true. It's ace king races, I guess.
It's a little bit like that spot against Jeremy earlier where Luda called and got shown the goods. It's happening again, an $84,000 pot.
Kyle calls the clock on Andy. At the Legends of Poker final table, the pressure was quite high. The flop changed nothing, but the turn gave Kyle the lead with queens. Then came the river, a jack of clubs. Moving forward, Andy hit an ace-high flush, sealing Tommy Lee's fate. Kyle, frustrated from folding earlier, called the clock. Andy bet $400K, and then Kyle folded. Tommy saw his hand and knew it was over. And with that, for Tommy, he was out of the tournament.
At the nuts almost.
Here's the flop. King 9-4 helps no one at the table. Frankenberger going to check the side pot potential. Kyle does as well. Queen on the turn. Kyle takes the lead with queens.
Well, it's gone check, check again.
Down to
Here
the
comes
river.
the river card. A jack of clubs comes off. This gives Andy the ace-high flush. Another flush he makes on the river. This one is going to knock Tommy out of this tournament.
There's nothing on the side, of course, yet, but...
Well, he's going to bet something here,
got
man.
a cinch. You got to bet.
He might not bet much, but I can assure you he's going to bet.
Kyle looking impatient.
Clock.
Oh boy, he's calling the
I, just
clock.
want, I want to keep playing. Like
Can't take it anymore.
400.
Well, I think that's the frustration of laying down
Yep.
those queens
Pull.
up, man. Now the guy's betting 400,000.
And Kyle ejects his hand, and Tommy sees his fate. It's not good.
Nice hand, Andy.
He is gone.
Well, that's going to do it for Tommy Lee. Just very unlucky those.
Doug Polk calls the clock on Tom Dwan. At Hustler Casino Live in May 2023, Doug Polk and Tom Dwan were playing high-stakes poker when their hand grew to a $1.1 million pot. After significant betting, Dwan took an extended period to make a decision, leading Polk to call the clock. Dwan called, the river was the 2 of clubs completing Polk's straight. And Doug Polk placed a $400,000 wager, and Tom Dwan called after giving it some thought, leading to Polk winning the substantial pot.
Tom really taking his time here, perhaps trying to feign weakness, perhaps just thinking it over.
Let's move it along a little bit here. Can you laugh?
Yes.
You just did.
Tom Dwan was the first hot shot.
Wesley, this might be the last sweat you get to go on today. It's like, oh, time to tell stories. Is that okay? I don't want to be a dick, but is clock reasonable here? All right, I'll call the clock. Well, it's weird when you're in the hand because time moves differently, you know? I call.
Interesting. A call.
420.
Snap call. Again, Tom's taking his time.
Are you going to call the clock again?
They could take this line are, of course,
Sashimi calls the clock on an influencer. In a tense poker session, a well-known poker influencer found himself deep in thought, stalling for an extended period on a crucial hand. The table grew restless as the seconds ticked by. Finally, Sashimi had enough and called the clock. With just seconds left to act, the influencer was forced to make a quick decision under pressure. The dramatic moment added to the excitement, proving once again that poker is as much about mind games as it is about the cards.
I want to get a hand just to raise one time. Be glad for what Tell me why.
Give me all brown. I play after shrimp.
Hey, yo.
That's why you never win. You don't play with fish. You only play with pro.
They stay and play.
I would like to join the festivities if you guys decide to play after. Kieran with number 1 up against Yanni's flush draw.
With the right kick. Are you sure you all live in?
Can you call pro, please?
Louis, clock, please. Do you know what's on here? No one.
Can I see the turn in the river?
Sure. Get the man.
Just to feel like
Give me the bad news.
I understand that.
Oh! Oh! The mind games, the large stakes, and the unexpected turns are what make poker so exciting. So whether you're playing for fun or at the highest stakes, Poker is all about reading the room and making the right moves under pressure. Watch out for more dramatic hands, aggressive bluffs, and jaw-dropping plays. For some more poker action, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.